Welcome back. It is September 1st, 2012, and we haven't had a show in a while. We did a show last week. We'll talk about that later. I am Jason. This is The Talking Dead. With me, we have Bob.
How's it going?
And Paul.
Hello.
And we have a great show. But to start off, I want to remind people that our sponsor for The Talking Dead is audible.com. You can go to audibletrial.com/TTD and get a free audiobook and a free 30-day trial for doing that. So everybody head to audibletrial.com/TTD. Now do it.
What does TTD stand for?
The Talking Dead.
That is so clever.
So it's good stuff. So
it's way better than DDT.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
which
DDT
has detrimental effects.
So I'm told.
Yeah. I think
so they want you to believe.
It's a conspiracy. Yeah. So anybody have anything new they want to talk about? Every time. So while y'all think about what y'all want to talk about, I want to talk about last broadcast of The Talking Dead. We did a special edition. We had Cazwell and Alaska Thunderfuck interview and performance on that show. Bob helped me out on that
I was
show.
just standing off camera, trying to not be in camera.
Which is up on the site now. You can check that out. It was actually the very first time those two have ever been together. First time that they've ever been interviewed together, and the first time that they've ever been recorded.
I thought it was cool that they were both fans of one another.
Yeah,
that was kind of neat.
So if you haven't checked it out, go check it out now. It's on zombieandpopcorn.com.
And that was fun. Those were nice, accessible people.
They're very nice. I mean,
yeah, that was like the best concert that I don't want to say nobody went to, but not a lot of people went to, which was better for the people that did go.
Yeah, it was really good. Paul said he was going to show, but he didn't.
Yeah, something came up.
It was all right. It was good.
Actually, I didn't know I had to pay for it. I didn't know who he was when you first mentioned him. I just thought he was some guy from like around the corner.
But I sent you a video.
I know. Well, that's afterwards. I was like, oh, wait. I'd have to pay for this.
Yeah. No, but it was really good. Also, I want to...
I did eat a cherry popsicle
slowly. Did you?
And in a sultry manner in honor of the show.
And then you met me at the ice cream truck.
And I wore like a little winter cap thing, you know, and
with the
rubbed some bronzer on myself. Yeah. But sadly, my physique did not match anybody.
Well, I don't know. There's something really interesting what bronzer does to a pot belly.
You know what's amazing is that at first I didn't realize it was like geared towards men. I just thought it was an Abercrombie and Fitch ad, which is pretty much the same thing.
But
apparently they've been making softcore gay porn since they've been open.
You learn something new every day.
Just hanging out at the boathouse with my bros.
Yeah.
Like, up at the cabin.
Wait a minute.
Have you seen that website? It reminds me. There's a website. It's fairly new. It's like somebody's like blog spot or something. It's called Brocats.
I saw it at work, but I was afraid to click on it.
It's hilarious. All it is all of those Abercrombie and Fitch type pictures, and they've photoshopped a cat's head.
That's awesome.
The dude. So they have that picture of like all the dudes with no shirts hanging out at the boathouse.
Right.
It's just cat heads.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
It's pretty awesome. Real quick, I want to bring everybody's attention. You can go right now to zombiepopcorn.com. We are giving away a very, very rare 3D horror movie, Blu-ray disc. It's called The Collection. It's done by Andrew Murchie, if you may remember Andrew Murchie, because we interviewed him last year, roughly last June 2011. He's the 3D film director and writer from Scotland, and he owns Enhanced Dimensions. He sent us several copies of his new 3D collection short, or 3D short called The Collection, and it's a Blu-ray disc and it's also DVD. So it features the collection in 2D and in 3D. On Blu-ray, it's side by side 3D. So if you have 3D television, 3D Blu-ray, you can watch it. And it also has on the DVD side the anaglyph, the red and blue 3D glasses, so you can watch that and a bunch of trailers and behind the scenes.
Well, that just sounds like a win-win for everyone.
I know.
The guys making 3D horror films, like for Blu-ray, and are you sure this isn't like a twin brother? You were separated at birth or something like that?
Maybe. But so if you want to go enter that, it's very easy. The giveaway is really easy. We're giving away 2 of them. There's like 4 steps that you have to follow, and it's so easy to enter. Contest ends next week. So do that.
What are the steps?
You have to go to the website and find out.
Well, do they have to do anything arduous?
Nope.
Well, they should.
I don't do.
There needs to be like a picture of somebody in like an uncompromising position, or.
Well, I put that photo of you up there that you don't know
yeah.
about, but we'll talk about that later.
If you're only gonna give away 2, let's make it a contest. Let's see how badly somebody wants it.
I just like giving away free
what
shit.
What would people do with their for free swag, man? Let's see what we can get people to do.
You must really think that Blu-ray 3D films are very popular.
yeah, I don't know.
But anyway, another announcement before we move on is this show will be the last show until roughly mid-October for The Talking Dead. I'm taking a break to work on some other stuff, and we will be back. But I'll just keep your eye on Zombie Popcorn for updates and what we're going to do. So that's it.
You're still going to do contests and like blog updates.
Yeah, the website's not going away. Just this show is not going.
We're just not going to record.
We're not going to record the TTD because...
You know what we should do? We should do like the sitcoms used to do when they had a lull, and we'll just all sit on the couch and go, hey, remember that time when... we can just cut. Oh, yeah, those were great memories. What about... And then you just show the reruns.
But what great memories do we have of this show? Patrick Swayze, Nick Nolte, no. I can't even remember the guy's name. Guy we always make fun of. Nick Cage, yeah.
That guy.
So that's it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll recut every Nicolas Cage reference ever made. In the history.
That would be like 3 shows long.
Yeah, I know. Damn, that shit's longer than a Tony Anthony interview.
That's an epic interview. But so anybody see any new movies? Wanting to see new movies?
I don't really follow any of that anymore.
Gave it up. I saw the new Woody Allen movie. Not bad.
Which one is that?
To Rome with Love. It's Woody Allen. And I'm starting to think like I like his movies more when he's not in them.
Yeah, that seems to be the case.
Although he was okay in this, but the whole movie was just kind of, eh. It was all right. Midnight in Paris was much better.
Oh, I love that movie. I made Jan watch it. I watched it on the plane to Ireland.
Yeah, Midnight in Paris was fantastic. And so, coming off of that, I just had high hopes for To Rome with Love, and it was just okay. But it's very Woody Allen, so it's not awful. It's just,
I want to see the movie Bernie. I haven't seen that yet.
Weekend at
that's
Bernie's?
hilarious. No, Bernie.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Bernie's really good.
Is it?
Yeah, Bernie's very funny. It's like sort of dark gallows humor that I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good.
I haven't seen any movies, but Jan and I just went and saw Covenant in Richmond. And then we went and saw Dead Can Dance in D.C.
How was that?
Which was freaking amazing. Probably one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Dead Can Dance or?
Yeah, Dead Can Dance.
Yeah.
Covenant was cool. It was fun. But Dead Can Dance was insane.
Why?
Because, I've seen tons of bands, and they're all good musicians, but this is on a caliber that's way above all of them put together. This is like... They both have amazing voices, her especially, Lisa Gerrard, but it sounds better than the CDs live. It's one of those, and it was in a giant, outside amphitheater that was open air, but you're like in this giant wood structure, but it was at night, so you could hear all the crickets. Yes. Yeah, never been there before. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah, Wolf Trap's nice.
It's insane. So there... You could see the moon coming through the slats and the things, and she's singing. They're playing all these crazy world instruments, and it was just awesome. Very good. Very expensive night, but
What was the crowd like?
the crowd was interesting. The crowd was people who are like Wolf Trap members that show up in their, Beamers and Land Rovers and don't bat an eye at buying 6 bottles of wine for a buffet that ends up being like $30, $35 a person. And then there are a bunch of hippies that are into Dead Can Dance that are there. So there's like a whole bunch of dreadlocks. And then there's a whole bunch of goth people that are there. And then there are a couple like uber 80s goth with teased hair and painted white faces. And it was like Burning Man, the Burning Man bus and a bus full of yuppies crashed. And this was like what happened. It was completely
like Burning
bizarre.
Man meets John Mayer.
Yes, yeah. At a Transylvanian castle. That's exactly what it was like. But yeah, they were amazing sounding.
Awesome. Cool. But speaking of music, you brought some toys.
I did.
By the request of Bob.
You've been
always wanted
threatening
to see.
to do this for a while now.
Well, I don't know why. I brought the didgeridoo, or one of them. It's not a real one. It's not actually wood.
They don't know
real to
that, but
me.
now they
I
do.
know. It's PVC pipe.
Really?
Isn't that amazing? The guy did a great job on it. Yeah, check it out.
That is PVC.
Yeah. God knows what he breathed in when he was burning this and shaping
God, I
it.
thought that was real wood. I would have swore that looks just like real wood.
I know. It's an amazing job. There was a little music shop here in Norfolk called Troubadours. It wasn't open very long, and he sold like doombacks, didgeridoos, all sorts of world percussion and stuff. And I bought it there for like $80 or something. God, when I guess Jan and I were dating. But anyway, long time ago. So, yeah, I don't know how we came to talk about this, but for some reason I've been meaning to bring a didgeridoo to you.
Because you kept talking. You gotta do the Matthew McConaughey voice, like lay down a sweet drone, bro.
So it's funny. Me and this guy at work keep talking about a skit we want to do, and it's like called My Bro Matthew, and it'll just be like how Matthew McConaughey is the coolest guy in the world, and that chicks want to hang out with him, but so do their boyfriends. And he'll like show up like riding on 2 sea turtles, from the ocean, and just be like, "Oh, hey man, where do we go take a road trip? I got the van ready and a hub wheel filled with peyote later when we go on our vision quest. Just got done building a sweat lodge, bro. Let's go in." So, yeah, that's the didgeridoo.
Well, let's.
Well, I can do it now, but it's not going to pick up on that.
Here.
It's picking up.
Here, hold on a second. I'll move my microphone.
It's good. It's picking it up.
Up to there you go. So, there's some weak drone.
That's that's some sweet drone, bro.
Bro, man, you just lay that down. It's like dream time all over, man. You just walk those song lines.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's in it? Is it just a straight line?
It's
all the way
just
down?
it's just a hollow tube. I've
Oh,
actually
there's nothing in it.
No. I've got I've made one out of
I
just
thought
a
there
PVC
would be like a
pipe.
valve or something somewhere.
No, I've got one that's a PVC pipe and a radiator hose that I stuck together, and it makes a low A. It's about
Sweet low A, bro.
five notes lower than that. I mean, it's really low.
So how do you do it? You just buzz your lips like a trumpet?
Yeah.
Can I do it, or I gotta put my mouth on it? Or like what?
Yeah,
I'm not gonna weird you out or anything?
No, it's fine.
You sure?
You have no idea where that thing's been. Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
I do.
So yeah, you can either go like that, or you can use the slide and go look up, and that's the vibration. but not so tight. You gotta be more relaxed.
You made gold, a diamond out of that.
So just
It seems so easy. I'm awful.
Nobody gets it the first time. I did, but no, I'm just kidding.
But I'm gifted.
I did not.
My mom says I'm special.
Yeah, she's got a bumper sticker on her car.
Too much Taco Bell.
I'm awful.
It takes some practice. Ooh, it's so hot around the mouth.
Sorry.
No, it would be for anybody. Yeah.
I was also like trying like not to spit in it.
I know. There's no way to not. It's
see
part
shit
of the
dripping
thing.
out
Yeah.
the end. Ugh.
After a long time, yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's
Classy.
something I didn't know about flutes. You know, I started playing different flutes, and I'm like, what's running out?
Have you ever seen those guys that play trumpet or the one I used to do? I had a friend when I was in like high school. This goes way back, but he played French horn. And,
you got to take the mouthpiece off, and
it has a fucking valve in it at the low point in the tubing, and you just like creak 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 open this valve, and like you blow in a little bit, and I swear to God, like enough spit would come out to like fill up that Coke can.
Yeah,
it's
crazy.
gross.
I have a Fujar, which is this.
Now my lips feel all funny.
Yeah, I know. Is there cocaine around?
Yeah.
It's this giant flute. It's like, I don't know, 6 feet tall, and so you blow in this one chamber that leads up to the top, because you can't hold out a thing. Basically, it looks like this, but it has another piece down here, and you put your mouth there and you play like this. But and it's also made out of PVC because I can't afford the real thing. But in the mouthpiece, after playing a while, you start to feel it, and then you got to take the mouthpiece off, and it just all hits your hand like every time, and it's just. Oh yeah, I was like, oh, this is like the dirty side of flutes nobody tells you about.
I can't believe this is PVC, man. That guy does a fucking bang-up job making it look like wood.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he did the paint job and everything with the gecko, and
that's fun, but
yeah.
Like at the same time, I'm like, that's amazing, and then I'm like, I'm underwhelmed. Like, you know what I mean?
With underwhelmed with what?
That it's just a hollow PVC pipe.
Yeah, well, originally they say that the didgeridoo is one of the oldest instruments. It's been around for 60,000 to 20,000 years, and it's just originally was a eucalyptus branch that's been hollowed out by termites.
Right.
So somebody found it and just went.
How long has the longbow been around? Because I read somewhere that like the longbow was the introduction to stringed instruments.
Fucking liars! Fuck you! No, I have no idea. I'm just kidding, dude.
I was like,
no, it probably is, because I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean you just pluck one note, but you could bend it and change
well,
the
no,
tone.
you would do different harmonics like you would on this. So you still have the one tone, but by moving your tongue closer to the roof of your mouth or further away, you change the upper harmonics, and it gives that little, which sounds really awesome there, I'm sure. But the like jaw harp works in the, or juice harp, whatever.
Why didn't I get
works in the
Foster's
same
Lager
way.
beer, man? We could.
Yeah, Foss does.
With like a real didgeridoo background.
Yeah, so you can use the mouth bow, and you can actually, by adjusting the, how deep your tongue is, how you open your throat, the upper harmonic. So you can play little melodies on it, which is kind of fascinating. But it still has that one note underneath of it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's really cool. Like I said, I'm like really impressed, and then like that's you know what it is? It's like when you're a little kid and your uncle teaches you that first card trick that you learn. You're like, what? That's how you do it?
Yeah. You mean your thumb isn't really coming off?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's amazing that you do it, and at the same time, you're like, oh, that's it?
Son of a bitch, my nose is your thumb?
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried getting into magic, and then I realized it's just lying. That's all it is.
It is. It is.
All right. Anyway,
that's very cool. Well, thanks for bringing that.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Do you want to talk about the other one?
Well, the other one was a bonus.
A bonus? Oh my gosh!
Do you want to say that for the extras?
It doesn't matter. This is obviously a slow news day. Yeah. So we have the Shruti box, which is a Indian drone box that works. I don't know where the camera is. So it has all these reeds that are in here.
It's that thing right there.
That you, Yeah, thank you. That you can open for the notes you want. And then you pump this bellows. There, I'll do it further away.
No, that's fine. You're fine.
And,
you're not blowing it up.
It's a one-trick pony. That's pretty much.
That, like, I don't know. I mean, that's pretty cool.
These are my
too.
drone-devoted instruments here.
And the Shruti box seems pretty neat, but I just have this idea, like this band is practicing, and you got one dude, you're like, dude, you got the Shruti box, you got one fucking job, and you fucked that up. Can't believe it, man.
Man, what are you doing? Yeah.
Right, because all he's got to do is pump that bellows every once in a while and just keep the same sound going.
I really want to solo. What do you mean you want to solo?
Yeah. It's like cowbell.
I can muffle it with my hand and kind of play with the harmonics. Yeah. Yep. All right. Now we can move on to real topics.
Moving on.
All right.
I'll just randomly play it throughout the night.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start this one off because anytime we bring up this topic, there's always a fight between me and Bob. So I'm going to say it. Labor Day weekend, the Avengers get a re-release. So we're going to see the Avengers again in theaters.
Labor Day weekend, that's like this weekend.
Yep, that's this weekend. So Labor Day tomorrow.
Shit, I'll go see that tomorrow.
You're gonna go
I'll
see
go
it
again.
You're going to go see it?
You don't have to go, but I'm going.
But remember our conversation? I said that I texted you one night. It was late at night, and I said, "Hey, I just watched Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, and Incredible Hulk." And I was like, "Now the Avengers make sense."
Which is funny because I sort of assumed you had watched those movies beforehand.
No.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
You did not. There's no way you watched that.
Well,
You
I know
watched
you
all
didn't
of
like
them?
Captain
I
America.
haven't watched the Hulk.
Yeah.
Captain America was one of the worst things I've ever had to watch.
See,
Yeah.
I liked it, but
I didn't see a problem with Captain America.
Captain America, I hated it. But the Iron Man movies are really fun, and
I haven't seen 2 yet.
Dude, Iron Man is almost a perfect movie. I really think that it's so good. I watched it again the other day, and
I really don't
it's just
think
really
you could have
good.
had anybody else play.
Oh my god!
No,
like,
you really
the casting
couldn't.
was
No.
inspired, and one of the things that makes Iron Man work so well is that Jeff Bridges as Obadiah Stane is such a good villain. I mean, he's great. That's a really well done movie.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
good. It's very good.
But I agree with Paul that you could not find a better person to play that role.
Oh no, Downey Jr. He knocks it out of the park.
Yeah,
he really does.
He really does.
In fact, when
I don't really think he's acting.
yeah. But I mean, it's
I
so,
really am this fucking cool.
He's left such an indelible mark on the character of Tony Stark. Like now, if I read an Iron Man magazine, I'm thinking of Tony Stark or
From
Robert
the
Downey
movie,
Jr.
yeah.
saying the line.
Yeah. Well, then he's done a good job.
It's the same way with
When you read Sherlock Holmes now,
So,
yeah.
so what do you think of in Captain America when he's young? Do you think that character lived up to what he became when he was older?
Huh?
Wasn't he
What?
Stark wasn't he in Captain America?
No, that was his dad.
Oh, that was his dad.
Right.
Okay, so I had it mixed up. So.
yeah, because he wasn't alive in World War II.
Right.
Well, I don't follow the stuff.
Yeah.
Don't even act like you follow it.
Dude, I've watched all these. Now all we got to do is get him to watch the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah.
I can't believe he hasn't seen those.
But
yet.
you know what Bob is going to go see with me?
What's that?
The re-release of episode 2 and 3 of Star Wars. Coming out this month and next
So
month.
somehow George Lucas swindled you again.
Jason's lying.
Through
I'm so
the
not
guise
going to
of
that.
friendship.
He thinks I am, but I'm not. I'm not going.
You don't have any other plans.
Oh my god! So, Attack of the Clowns is the worst movie ever, and and Revenge of the Sith.
Insult in as well.
Revenge of the Sith was so bad. It was horrible.
Don't you want to see it in lame-ass 3D?
In fact,
because it's not even going to be a good 3D.
I went to see Revenge of the Sith, and I was like, okay, this is the one where he makes it all up to me. This is the one. This is the payoff. This is what I've suffered all this time for. And as the movie was going on, I just felt increasingly more like betrayed and lied to. It was terrible.
You okay, Paul?
Yeah, I was just laughing at his reaction.
What, man?
just the way that he sits up more and his brow really furrows when he talks about it. It's
he's
not
serious
a show.
about it.
Yeah, it's serious.
I mean, if we don't have anything, we have no passion.
Yeah, I know, right? and that's the thing. I've been saying all the time that my love of all things Star Wars has just grown over time. But at the same time, I really don't like those movies.
What do you think of Star Wars Detours?
Detours?
Yeah, have you not seen the trailer teasers for it?
What is Star Wars Detours?
It's an animated series, and it's all the stuff that happens in between everything. And it was supposed to be little sub stories of the stormtroopers hanging out and the Death Star and stuff, just little funny side real life story type things, and that's what it was what it was supposed to be. But what they've turned it into is little quirky little stories of the same characters, of the same old Star Wars jokes that have been told for centuries, and it's made a lot of Star Wars fans upset because they were hoping to see another splinter of the story plot and just seeing kind of everyday life stuff.
There's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of material there for comedy, I think, because I've seen a lot of really funny. There's a lot of funny memes going on where the guys those were the those were the droids I was looking for, and I just knew it, but that old man got me so confused. I'm getting force choked at work tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw that actually, and his wife's.
Yeah. And then there's that somebody's got a short film where there's a bunch of stormtroopers sitting around and they're drinking blue milk at a bar, and they're like, you know what today is, don't you? Anniversary of the Death Star. And the guy's like, yeah, man, if we forget about it, the rebels win. And one guy goes, you want to hear something crazy? I was supposed to be on the Death Star that day. I knew people on the Death Star that day, but I got stuck in space traffic and I was late to work. And
well, here's the
and then the guy's like, "You're telling me the whole empire, the whole galactic empire, can't find one guy hiding out on a desert planet on Tatooine?"
This is the Star Wars Detours.
You ready? Punch it! Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
No, I left a message with your roommate, but your
No,
machine
that's
was full,
just
so your
animation.
landlord hung up on me when I was walking your dog because my homework ate it.
I got dressed for this.
Half dressed.
Put some pants on.
Yeah, so it's,
Hey,
it's
how's my
comedy.
nose look?
Yeah.
Oh!
See, that's kind of like spoofing on Star Wars, which
it's done by
right
ribbon
for that
cutting
kind of
ceremony.
thing.
Man, will
There's
I
so
be happy
much
when we can stop
you could
pretending
do.
this thing's a mall?
This is no space mall. This is more like some kind of a Death Star.
Death Star. I like the sound of that.
Aha! This is the
But see, it's done by the people who did Robot Chicken.
Yeah, Robot Chicken, they're relentless on Star Wars stuff.
So,
They're brutal. But they always tell the truth though, you know what I mean? I love when they do the Boba Fett skits, and it's great.
Yeah. So this is pretty much it, but a series.
That's cool.
Yeah, I guess. A lot of people are upset by it.
Why would you be upset about that?
Because they're saying that they're not creating new material. They're just rehashing the same old jokes.
Well, I don't know. Maybe. I haven't seen it, so I can't say whether...
Well, who's it put out by?
Seth Green.
Yeah, why would he create new material?
I mean, really.
I mean, he's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's not.
Well, yeah, I can see the complaint
Star
could
Wars.
be that he's not creating new Star Wars materials. He's telling the same jokes that he did in Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not the. Yeah, that plus all the other same old jokes that's been told since day one of Star Wars. But whatever.
I don't know. I mean, sometimes
people take it a little bit too serious.
You think?
Yeah.
But yeah. So we've talked about this for a long
Still
time.
not going though. Just
You're going. You're going.
If you want to,
you signed you signed a contract.
I signed an agreement that I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Was I drugged?
Maybe.
Was I drunk? Was I drinking?
Maybe.
Oh, by the way, have you seen they have ice trays?
Oh yeah, that look like Han Solo frozen in carbonite. Oh yeah.
I saw those the other day.
That's brilliant. I think that might be one of those things that was a that website ThinkGeek does.
Yeah, that's where I saw.
Yeah, they do an April Fool's catalog, and sometimes the things that they put in their April Fool's catalog
end up being made.
Yeah, it has like such a positive response that they end up being made.
Well, there was the one I can't remember. What do they call the animals that
the
live?
tauntaun, the sleeping bag, the tauntaun sleeping bag.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really awesome.
Yeah, that was totally an April Fool's joke that became reality. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they also did somebody else did a thing where
that place is based, like in Arlington, Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Somewhere up north.
They had a thing where it was like a game console. It looked like a Pac-Man cabinet game, and what you did was you slid your iPad.
They sell that at Bed Bath & Beyond.
That was a ThinkGeek April Fool's joke.
No,
product.
that was an Atari product.
No, it was not an Atari product. It was a. The idea was like it looked like a Pac-Man cabinet game, but you slid your iPad in where the screen would be, and it had a little joystick on it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen those.
But
Atari, the cabinet game was.
Atari put out. They have the cabinet thing that looks like it, like Asteroids and other games, and there's an Atari app that you can get where you can play Defender and all of those games, and you just stick it in the tablet and you have.
Right, ThinkGeek did it first as a joke.
I want your source.
I'm pretty sure that's true.
Well, that was on Snoops.com.
Yeah. Last time I read Straight Dope.
Whatever. So
whatever.
Shut up, man.
This is my show first.
ThinkGeek didn't think of this.
Yeah.
But there's an awesome. We talked about it before.
Making money on there.
The Flying Swords of Dragon Gate is actually coming out on the 31st of this month.
That should be awesome.
I know. We've been waiting for 3D Movie Man, and I've been talking about wanting a Shogun type martial arts 3D film, but this is going to be in IMAX. This is the highest grossing
that sounds fun.
3D film that they've put out.
Jet Li keeps saying he's done making action movies, and then he keeps making these action movies.
But this one looks amazing. Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Paul's like, I'm out of here.
I'm out.
I'm like in this Moroccan death trap over here with all these pillows. Just keep sinking in.
That's how they get you.
He disappears. It's just going to be his head.
Yeah.
Just help me. But yeah, no, I'm really excited about it. It hit IMAX. It's hitting IMAX on the 31st.
That would be awesome, like a Kung Fu IMAX movie.
Oh, fuck yeah. There's no question about it. That's going to be awesome.
Cool. Does it say who does the fight choreography?
I don't think I've put it in the notes. I don't think so.
No, it doesn't.
No.
So apparently the guy who does all the who's the the Chinese badass in fight choreography is Wenwu Ping, and he's done a bunch of the Shaw Brothers movie. He did all the fight choreography for The Matrix. He did all the fight choreography for Iron Monkey.
Have you seen Ip Man? Ip Man.
He did the fight choreography for Ip Man too, I believe.
That is a great movie.
That is a good movie, and it's Donnie Yen too.
Second
I like
one's
Donnie
not
Yen.
too bad either.
Yeah, they're very good.
Yeah, it was kind of like, well, how are you gonna top Japanese death camp? You know,
yeah.
Which they
those are good films.
They do a good job. Yeah.
Like not
like
not
even when your wife like starts watching it for no, go ahead and
yeah,
and they slowly start to. Okay.
Well, that's the thing about the Ip Man movies is that they're like one, it's a cool kung fu movie and it's a good movie. Like if you took away the kung fu stuff, it would still be a good movie.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We got to get some of those stiff collared shirts.
Yeah.
That we put our hands behind our backs and walk around.
Cool.
Is that what you're gonna do? All right. Going back to the comic book realm. Dredd 3D is hitting theaters in 3D on September 21st.
This looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
No, I do agree. So what?
I watched the original Judge Dredd
with
film
Stallone?
with Sylvester Stallone today.
Which also looks pretty bad.
It's awful. It's
horrible.
so god awful.
I remember
so
watching it once.
Awful.
I don't even know why they keep fucking up this film.
But the thing with Dredd though is that there is an element of like comedy to the comics.
Yeah.
It doesn't take itself very seriously. Like it tells really great stories, like the story arc with the three dead judges. I forget what their names are. Like Judge Death, right? And then the story arc with the side judges, Judge Anderson. Those were like really cool. But then at the same time, Judge Dredd had room to make light of itself and be a little ridiculous and I don't know. I think the movies go wrong because they're either trying to do action and comedy, not action and camp. I guess I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe.
Do you think who directed the Stallone one?
No idea. It's Andrew Vajna.
Someone who doesn't work anymore.
It was produced by one of those production companies in the '80s that was putting out all of those sort of like big budget, crappy action movies.
So none of them were invested in the comic. None of them were fans of the comic.
I don't think so.
And I don't think the director for this one is a fan.
No, probably not.
After this, I'm definitely.
yeah. No, I just don't think I don't think they're going to get it right.
I just wanted it to look more dynamic. Sorry.
I don't know. It could be. It's like one of those things. I want it to be good, but I'm really afraid it's not.
Kind of like.
And the Stallone Judge Dredd. Who was the guy that was in the room when they're doing like the casting, the pitch meeting, and he's like, "Yeah, it's Judge Dredd, and Stallone's going to be Judge Dredd, and we got Armand Assante as the bad guy, and you know what this movie needs? Rob Schneider. That is going to put us over the top. It's horrible."
Well, I think they only got Stallone because they're like, this script sucks. This movie looks like it sucks. The only way we can save it is get a.
Well, the reason I think they got Stallone is because I think he got that role on the heels of Demolition Man.
Yeah, because Demolition Man
was great.
Was almost Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Demolition Man was very like Judge Dredd, and I really think he was cast as Dredd on the heels of how well Demolition Man did, and so they were like, "Well, this is a no-brainer. Put Stallone in it," but Stallone couldn't do it.
No.
And the thing with Demolition Man was Stallone doing Stallone, not Stallone doing Judge Dredd, and him as Judge Dredd was just awful.
Yeah.
And I don't see Carl Urban doing any better.
Yeah, I think his best is probably Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. Which is one of his finer roles.
There's another, like, I wish I was a fly on the wall in that pitch meeting where they're like, it's Stallone and Estelle Getty. They love her in the Golden Girls, boys.
Speaking of...
Think of the demographics we can get from each side.
Speaking of remakes, though, you mentioned Total Recall.
Total Recall, yeah.
Your co-host on Natural Ones went to go see the remake of Total Recall the night that we went to go see The Campaign. Did he mention anything about it? Have you seen it?
He's pretty cynical, so I'm sure he says it was awful.
Yeah.
I've heard it's not good. I haven't
There's
seen
no way that it could be good. It doesn't look good on the trailer.
Yeah. So, apparently the new Total Recall movie, they're not on Mars at all. There's no Mars. There's no Quato. There's none of the stuff that made the first movie awesome.
Of Schwarzenegger suffocating.
Yeah.
The eyes.
And apparently, like, there's like the one running gag in the movie is that the main guy, what's his name?
Joe.
Yeah, no,
I can't remember.
Quaid, played by, what's that guy's name? Crap, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, man, now I can't even remember her name. The underworld chick.
English.
Yeah, Kate Beckinsale plays the Sharon Stone role, and she is like the menacing villain all through the movie, and they keep saying like, oh, what a bitch. And he's like, that's my wife. And they're like, oh my God, she's awful. That's my wife. And oh God, she's after us. That's my wife. Like, this is the same joke that keeps getting recycled over and over again throughout the movie.
Wow.
I heard nothing good about it.
Yeah. It's sad.
It's weird because whenever they remake a Philip K. Dick, whenever they take one of his stories and turn it into a movie, they usually leave out all the quirkiness. Because his stories are fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like, just, I was telling Jan, it's some of them, just the way he describes what people are wearing, it's ridiculous. It'll be like neon hot pants with a conquistador collar and hat. And, I mean, it's just this bizarre world where nothing matches, apparently. But the humor is just always really odd and bizarre. But they never do any of that on the movies.
Yeah, I don't know.
So nobody's gonna go see it.
I'm not gonna. I'll see it for free, maybe, or maybe I relegate that.
I won't.
It's a rental. It's a rental.
Nah. I have no need to see.
Oh,
that.
you know what I did watch as a rental was fucking a Battleship.
Oh, you saw it?
I did.
Oh
I
my
watched
God.
it. It was new this week on DVD, and I took it home and watched it with my mom, in fact, because she was visiting. And
she's like, I'm never coming back.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it was directed by Peter Berg, and the lead in it was Taylor Kitsch, the guy from John Carter of Mars, the John Carter movies,
Mm-hmm.
and
movies.
Movie.
He knows something we don't.
Yeah, and then that one singer Rihanna is in it.
Yeah,
and I think like somebody did a mashup of all her lines in the movie, and it's like, boom, what? Yeah, motherfucker, boom. You know, she like all she does is spit out like one-liners throughout the whole movie, and it's bad. It's so bad. And
her one-liners or the whole movie?
The whole movie's so bad, but it's kind of funny because they have to make this. They have to acknowledge the game somehow. You know, you have to. And so there's this point in the film when they're on their guided missile cruiser, and their radar's knocked out, and the alien doesn't have there's like an alien invasion, and so the alien ship doesn't have radar either, and so this one guy's like, they've got this big computer screen, and he's like, I've got an idea. He's like, because the ship, for some reason, the alien ship can fly, but it can only fly like it can hop from spot to spot on the ocean, which is weird, but I don't know. And so they're trying to think of a way to find the alien ship, and the guy's like, I've got an idea, and he's like, put every the NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, has wave buoys where they measure the change in distance from the waves. They know like a 10-foot wave passed by this buoy or a 3-foot wave passed by this buoy, and so they like put up a grid with all those buoys on it because they're receiving data from all the buoys. Or he's like, put all the buoys on the thing. He's like, now make a grid. And it's like, you see the horizontal vertical lines, and then it's like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, K, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they're like, we can track them. and the guy's like, And so they're just lobbing shells in the various grid coordinates. He's like, J3.
he did not really. Did they really?
Yeah, it really did that.
That's awesome.
I think that'd be worth just seeing just for that scene, just so you can go, why?
Yeah, as soon as the guy was like, when they have all the buoys, they're like just points on the map, and the guy's like, now make a grid. And then it's like, I was like, oh, no.
Would have been awesome if you were like in a theater full of people when they said make a grid and it did. Everybody was like, "Wah!"
Yeah, I know. It's the most amazing thing.
I remember that grid.
And then they so you know how in Norfolk we have the Battleship Wisconsin?
Yes, because Romney announced his running mate there.
So in there, the movie takes place in Oahu, Hawaii, where they have a ship there. Also, it's the Battleship Missouri. And I don't know how long it's been like chained up to the pier, but it's been a while. And when the movie starts, they're having some commemoration ceremony on the Battleship Missouri, and then there's like in the audience are like all these old guys that are like World War II veterans that actually served on the Battleship Missouri. So at one point in the movie, the aliens blow up the last U.S. guided missile cruiser, and so they have to make one more strike at the aliens to like finally win, and they're like, "Well, we're out of ships," and the guy's like, "No, we've got one more," and so they go to the Mighty Mo, the USS Missouri, and they're like, we don't have enough men to run this thing. You know, how are we going to get this thing? And then, like, all the World War II veterans show up, and they start playing, like, AC/DC music, and they show them. And it basically looks like, in an afternoon, they, like, fucking, you know, cut this ship from the pier and start up the engines, and, you know, boom, off they go. And it seems like they do it in, like, you know, just a matter of hours. They couldn't get that ship off the pier if they had a year and a half to prepare. And they do it like just in like 5 minutes. This
is a guy talking with experience,
right?
Yeah,
right. But I mean, that's no different than the computer hacker in every movie.
Yeah,
that's like, hang on, all right, I'm in the first. Oh no, there's a trick. Wait, Sparrow's, you know, and it's just.
And I always like in movies how the guy is constantly typing. That in 5 seconds, that guy types more than I do in a year.
Yeah.
I'm like a point-and-click mouse guy.
Yeah.
I thought the whole world was.
Yeah. Option C.
Yeah. Click,
Option
right
V.
click, drag. So that's not how, you know, it's so funny how there's the way the movie world works and the way the real world works. Well, you mean they're not the same?
Yeah.
It's not always option C.
Yeah.
It's control C. Okay.
You know, I couldn't remember because I usually say Apple C, but I was trying to be politically correct for non-Apple users, so I apologize.
I don't know that, and not only that, but the Battleship. If I'm not mistaken, it was directed by Peter Berg, and I really think, like, I hate to say this, but I think that, like, it could have been awesome if it was directed by Michael Bay. I think he could have made this movie because it was Peter Berg doing his best version of Michael Bay.
Sad. So what did your mom think of the film?
It was over. She was like, I can't believe you watched this movie. This is so goddamn dumb.
I
was like, oh, come on, Mom.
I was reading something online, like some Yahoo story about different movies, and you know, you always scroll down to read the comments, and this guy's like, what were they talking about on this thing? Battleship was a great movie. Just because all the critics hated it, everyone's elitist. And it was just hilarious.
Everybody's elitist.
Everybody but you. They all hated it.
You know, it's funny. I tend to watch, like, when there's movies that have that really, like, that heavy Navy element to it, I can't help but
like
watch
McHale?
it. Right? Like McHale's Navy, yeah. And so, like, take a movie like Crimson Tide, right? Crimson Tide was very cool. That was a really cool movie. And the Navy that's portrayed in Crimson Tide is entirely accurate. It's very accurate. And, you know, it's kind of neat to see. And
same thing with Down Periscope with Kelsey.
Yes,
Grammer.
that was exactly how it was. But then so on the other end of the spectrum, there's like the Down Periscopes to the battleships, where like the naval world that's portrayed there just makes me roll my eyes continuously, like just like, oh god, this is gonna make my weird aunt ask me some stupid questions, isn't it? Is that what it was like when you were on the ship?
No, everything
No.
was.
It was nothing like that.
Everything
The alien
was an
ships were
abbreviation
different.
and an acronym.
Yeah, but that's kind of one of, and you know what? That's the thing. Like in the Peter Berg version of Battleship, it made the Navy look fucking dumb. And I tell you, in the Michael Bay version of Battleship, the Navy would have been awesome. Because that's what Michael Bay does. He gets the branch of the military on board. They let him use all their equipment and shoot on scene and do all these location shots, and you know, he gets to use all the toys. And he's like, I promise you guys look fucking great when I'm done. I mean, look at that scene in the first Transformers movie when they call in that airstrike and that plane's flying in. Like, it seems like it's done that way.
Fucking 3 doors down comes in on the side. Yeah. Here's the set list. 3 doors down, Nickelback. Explosion, 3 doors down, jet flyby, Nickelback. Another explosion, Nickelback. 3 doors down, ballad combo together, mash up at the end of the credits. America wins.
Scene.
Finn.
What are you, some kind of communist? What is this, Finn?
All right, so that's my take on Battleship.
Yeah.
God awful.
You loved it. Awesome.
Can't wait for the sequel.
Yeah, you know there's going to be?
Yeah.
So
they do Hungry Hungry Hippos.
There is...
I sent you that picture. That was the Battleship picture, but it's this giant hippo like coming down.
That would have been an awesome movie. I would have seen that.
That sounds like an Onion article or something.
Yeah. Operation.
Don't give them ideas. I'm sure they're trying to work on it.
Somebody's thinking
Monopoly.
I promise you. I would put. In fact, I would be surprised if it wasn't true that some dude has not pitched a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie.
No, but they've probably done a mousetrap game with Nicolas Cage, and it's going to be like
he's like a bank robber,
like
or
National
something.
Treasure, and he's got to pick up things from everywhere to build this giant thing, or I don't know, the Mona Lisa will be set on fire and the world will explode.
It's probably happening.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if somebody hasn't pitched that movie
Soundtrack
already.
by Will.i.am.
So here's the thing. If we're thinking about it and joking it, I bet somebody's done it.
Yeah.
That's the sad state of affairs.
USA.
Yeah, it's funny. I read something online today that had a picture of... I didn't read it. It was just picture. No. So on the right half of the screen, it basically said... modern music today, and it showed a picture of on the right of Freddie Mercury, and it had the lyrics to Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen it? Yeah, and it says one writer, one producer, and the lyrics of that are great. I mean, it's all over.
It's a great song.
And then it showed a picture of Beyonce, and it said 6 writers, 4 producers. And it was that song, Girls Rule the World. And the lyrics are like, who rule the world? Girls. Who rule the world? Girls. Who rule the world? Girls. Girls rule the world. Who? Girls. Who rule? And that's it. That's like the whole song. It's just like, man.
You're like, sad but true.
Yeah.
But I have to admit that that song is way better than Queen.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. I'm not really a fan of that song, but no.
Whatever. No, it's
now
good.
put a ring on it. That's different.
Yeah. I don't want to hear anybody bad mouthing Queen, man. I'm gonna get upset.
No, we love Queen. As it gets quiet, the ladies in the other room.
Yeah. They're like, oh my gosh,
You know,
Freddie
the
Mercury is so
guitarist-
dreamy.
The guitarist from Queen is an astrophysicist now.
Yeah. I read that somewhere too.
The best part about Queen is the Southern folk that were really big into Queen were shocked when they found out he was gay.
I was talking to somebody older about that a couple days ago or a couple weeks ago, and they were like, "We just didn't know," and I'm like,
How did you?
Did you see the mustache?
He's not a cop.
Yeah. There's one of two options. So, and the same thing with Judas Priest.
Yeah.
You know, we look back now and everybody goes, "Oh yeah." But, you know, at the time, that was really an acceptable.
But the second shocking statement that came from Judas Priest was when they found out, when he announced that all the leather that he wore wasn't real leather because he's vegetarian.
Oh.
Who knew?
He did. Everybody's all freaking out. But anyway, moving on to the next film. The new
movie to ridicule and
what's
make
that?
fun of.
The new Resident Evil movie's coming out. Will hit theaters September 14th, which is fairly soon.
I like the Resident Evil movies. Man.
Crappy eye candy.
Yeah, it is. It is crappy eye candy. And I love Mila Jovovich, man. I don't care what she's in. I could watch her read the phone book.
I think she has that scene in this
right.
in 3D. No, the last Resident Evil we saw in 3D was really awesome. It was fun.
I know Joan of Arc was.
Yeah, I actually really like that movie a lot. And for a lot of reasons, because like one,
the
it
movie's
doesn't.
good, but her acting in it's not so good.
Well, she's.
Yeah.
That's why she doesn't talk in Resident Evil.
I know.
I mean,
That's why
Resident
they gave her
Evil.
broken English in The Fifth Element.
They're those movies that like they're entirely enjoyable but utterly forgettable.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of like any of the Final Destination movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah, it really.
I mean, you could ask me like we could talk about the Final Destination movies and be like, oh yeah, there was that scene where this happened, or this, I love this, or blah blah. I couldn't tell you which movie was which.
No,
they all
well,
blur
'cause they're all
together.
the same movie.
I've only seen one.
Yeah, you've seen them all.
Yeah, I
You
know
really
that.
have. So,
But I think I've seen the best one of all of them.
yeah,
Because
yeah. But they are nice to just check out, and
Yeah.
not be so offended like for something with Battleship where it's so bad you can't check out.
But
Yeah,
I think if you compare the two, Battleship and the Final Destination movies, any of them, I think Final Destination would still win out on being a better film. Just because when the director, the audience, the actors, everyone going into that film for the Final Destinations know what they're going in for and know that this is not something to be so...
Dude, I've got a brother-in-law who knows exactly what he's going in for when he will buy Battleship on Blu-ray. I mean, they know.
Yeah, but you know the thing with Battleship is it's just so full of these like groan, roll your eyes moments that you're just like, oh god, fuck. Whereas the Final Destination, Resident Evil movies, you're just like, sounds strange, but I'm going with it. You know what I mean? Like,
but at least it's entertaining. At least
it is entertaining.
At least like when there's those cheesy scenes like in the last Resident Evil where he threw his sunglasses
yeah,
totally just for a 3D moment.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh my god, that's so cheesy. But woo!
yeah. I fucking ducked. Did you? I totally ducked, man. It's like a ride. It's like, like.
But speaking of that, I watched a William Castle movie the other day. One I had never seen, Mr. Sardonicus.
I have not seen that.
It is worth checking out. For William Castle, it's very good. Same guy that did House on Haunted Hill and 13 Ghosts and all that stuff.
Well, he was the master of like.
Well, it's like a roller coaster ride. I was watching a documentary about it after the thing, and it's just for fun. On this one, you got to vote the fate of Mr. Sardonicus. So you had a card, thumbs up for live, thumbs down.
That's cool.
But obviously, nobody's gonna choose him to live. Yeah. Everybody's gonna. It's like, do you want to punish Sardonicus? And but it was really good. I was surprised.
Right on. I love William Castle movies.
Yeah.
He was great.
He's still alive on Facebook.
Yeah? Like, you mean he's still alive on Facebook or?
Well, there's a William Castle page on Facebook.
Yeah.
And that the person writes as the voice of.
Yeah.
That's kind of
It's fun. Yeah.
I'd like to see Matinee again.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is a really good movie.
Yeah,
Awesome.
they get it right in Matinee.
Are y'all familiar with the upcoming film The Day?
Not at all.
I don't either. I didn't. I put it on here. What's that? What is that?
Yeah, moving on. Okay.
Yeah,
The
no,
Day.
seriously. Well,
Turns out it's a thing.
I put it on here because it's kind of a ripoff of Red Dawn type.
Oh, have you seen the poster for the remake of that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, it looks. I mean, even the poster looks bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bad when the poster.
It says something about like I don't know, true bravery or freedom on it. It was,
Wolverine.
No, home of the brave. That's what it says.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about the remake of it then?
I saw a trailer for it.
Oh,
and,
no, I know. Paul,
have you seen the trailer?
Huh?
There's a trailer for Red Dawn.
I don't need to see
and
it.
yeah, I don't need to see
I saw the poster. Fuck.
Did you not?
I'm really confused about it too. I'm really confused.
I had heard that originally they were going to make it. You know, obviously it's not the Soviet Union anymore, so it was going to be China, but which would make sense. But obviously that's going to mess up some trade and ego.
Yeah.
So they switched it to North Korea, and
which is like the game Homefront.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, North Korea is like the size of Virginia. You know, there's only going to be but so much threat of a giant mass
well, the trick
land
is they sneak
invasion.
up on us.
You're right, yeah. Because they're wafer thin.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm really confused about the Red Dawn movie, and one of the leads in it that plays the Patrick Swayze part is Chris Hemsworth.
Never forget.
He's from Thor.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize him until like halfway through we were watching the trailer. I was like, oh my God, that was Chris Hemsworth. What is he doing in this movie? Like, it's not like he doesn't have enough Thor and Avengers money. Like, he had to take this crappy movie.
Do you think this contract was done before the success of that?
I don't know, man. I hope not.
But the trailer, you're saying, just looks horrendous.
It's confusing.
What do you mean it's confusing?
So at the time, when Red Dawn was made, it was in like the mid '80s. It was like I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but it was the first PG-13 film, and I was exactly 13 when it came out, so that would make it 1983. And it came out that summer, and I was like, oh my God, it's not rated R, it's PG-13, and I just turned 13. This is brilliant. I was so excited. And
I was only 5.
They
I don't remember.
And it was like the height of the Cold War. That idea of
that was on every 13-year-old's mind at the time.
It was. I mean, it really was.
Say it was the height, but
dude,
that was still in.
Yeah. When you were a little kid, it was like
1963 or something.
Yeah, I remember when I was 13. It was like that idea of like nuclear war between U.S. and Russia. That was a very real thing.
Because they made you watch that what was the day after?
The day
whatever,
after, yeah,
in
I know,
school.
right? It was all hype, and it never was going to happen. But the thing with Red Dawn
propaganda
is it
film
like,
they fed us.
The thing that made Red Dawn a great movie is that it seemed like a very real, very plausible thing that could happen to a 13-year-old's mind, right?
Right.
Now, maybe,
and it gave birth to peeing in the radiator.
Maybe in 1983, if I were a 40-year-old adult and like knew something about the world and knew better, I'd be like, this is crap, right? But I wasn't, and I didn't, and I loved that movie. And that was part of what I loved about it is it seemed like it could happen. And
I feel the same way about Night of the Comet.
I love Night of the Comet.
No, I'm serious.
You know what? We started a zombie section in at the video store, and I had to fight for Night of the Comet to be in the zombie section.
Movie.
It is a zombie movie. We had to come up with the Venn diagram of zombies because there's cannibal, infected, and undead.
Nice.
And so you have to have an overlap of two things.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were infected and cannibal. Anyway, the thing with the trailer Red Dawn or the new Red Dawn movie, it just seems like in this world, in the modern world now, could never ever happen. Not even if I was 13. If I was 13 now, I would know that this just couldn't happen. It's just so implausible.
I would have gotten a tweet by now.
Right.
So what do you think they could have
my
done?
North Korean uncle's hanging out, going out over there. It's top secret. But I really like Hollywood movies. I don't want to see you guys get blown up.
So what do you think they could have done differently to make Red Dawn? Would that, outside of not making the film, what could they do to make Red Dawn relevant?
Burn
to
the
today?
negatives.
I'll tell you what they could do, and they could do. I saw it done well. Was actually in that girl Nana's book, Zombie Iceland.
Yeah.
Because there was that chapter in Zombie Iceland that just had the Facebook posts about the spread of the zombie plague, and it was handled so well.
It was really well,
and it seemed real. So the whole idea in this Red Dawn movie that there is no social media and that thing, like, remember that earthquake that happened a while ago? Mm-hmm. I think it was the one that was in like West Virginia that spread to here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They showed that the tweets about the earthquake spread faster than the earthquake itself. So the idea that you could like sneak an invading army in to the United States without anybody knowing and not deal realistically with like social media, Twitter and Facebook is just absurd.
Well, they probably unpulled the cable before the...
Yeah. Somebody
unplug it.
Well, the Koreans own Twitter.
Social media's down.
And so here's the thing, like in a book like Zombie Iceland, you could have said like, oh my God, like you have to deal with the world you have, right?
Yeah.
And so you could say like, oh well, the world I have now has like social media is very present. There's Twitter and Facebook. So here's how I deal with it. I go, oh, and in the meteor strike, it sent out an EM pulse, which disabled all social media, right? That's a crap way to do it.
Well, that's what they do. They do that in every horror movie now with cell phones.
Well, it is a crap.
I don't have reception.
It's a crappy.
My battery died.
Crappy MacGuffin.
Yeah.
What you do is you do what that girl Nana did, and you deal with it realistically. You go, oh my God, this is how it would happen. You know, there'd be this phase of people like, look at this. This is weird, and some people are like, oh my God, you know, and then there would be people who would say, oh, it's crap, and there are people who, you know, deny it, and there'd be people who, you know, try to refute it, and then the pendulum would swing the other way, and she dealt with it in a very real way that lent credibility to her book and her story overall. And I just think like every movie now just sort of like denies it. They pull that crappy MacGuffin that just sort of like, oh, and magically all the cell phones go away.
Yeah. No, I mean that's a good point.
We have our top scientists working on
it. Yeah. We don't know how, but they did it anyway.
Well, I mean, because in Homefront, they kind of do that. I don't know if you've played the game. You can play it on stream, and it's on Valve, or you can just buy the PC game. But it is the invasion. It's done by the director of Red Dawn. He wrote the script for it, and it is of North Korea invading the U.S. But the game itself is after the invasion and after they've taken over power.
Sure.
But they do address all that. They address how such a small country, invaded us, how they took us over economically, how they took us over, and so the trailer. We'll watch it after the show, and if anybody else wants to see it, just go to YouTube, do the Homefront trailer. It does explain how it happens, and it is very realistic in that sense. And I wonder if, since the Red Dawn writer helped and wrote the script for Homefront the game, if they took their cues from the game, if they took it from
maybe, but the trailer for the new Red Dawn movie just seemed entirely implausible, and that flies in the face of why I love the original Red Dawn movie, was because it seemed like it could have happened any day. It really seemed like a real thing.
Yeah.
And this new movie, it just seems utterly implausible, and which just lends to the implausibility is they don't deal with the world as it is.
Let me see if this will play well on the show.
Are they gonna get you gonna get in trouble for playing a video?
Whatever.
He's like, I don't care. I'm going rogue.
Well, I just wanted, because this is the backstory.
I can't.
The torpedo that sunk the Cheonan and took the lives of 46 South Korean sailors was fired by a North Korean submarine.
Going
Korea's weapons program continues to intensify. Now surpassed 1,000 missiles.
Appeared at the UN to call for severe sanctions against North Korea.
This morning comes the news of Kim Jong-il's death. North Koreans greet their new supreme leader, Kim Jong-il's son, Kim Jong-un.
우리 공화국의 통일은 남한과의 한민족을 갖고 올 것이며 경제와 산업의 발전을 갖고 올 것입니다.
Today, our beloved leader, Kim Jong-un, has united North and South Korea, forming the Greater Korean Republic.
Although costs at the pump are ready to break the dreaded $20 ceiling.
Across the nation, civil unrest has intensified with the demise of the U.S. dollar.
This is not a retreat, nor are we abandoning our Asian allies.
Under threat of annihilation by the Greater Korean Republic, Japan has surrendered.
Martial law is now in effect. Excessive force will be used.
Hours after the president ordered a freeze on bank withdrawals.
We don't know where we will get our next meal from.
Korea's annexation continues to spread despite the U.S. Today, the Greater Korean Republic launched their latest communication satellite, claiming it will bring a message of peace to the entire world.
And there goes cripples electronic grid.
Okay. All right. So, all right. One of the things is that they do a lot of setup in that trailer, and it's 2024. So we're like, all right. So now there's magical technology, and you can go with the premise. The whole thing with Red Dawn was that it's today, it's now.
Yeah.
It's.
So you're saying the
right,
trailer for this
they
game
have years to build up their empire.
Right.
They take over Japan. They take over, and it.
Right. There's a build up that we're made aware of. Whereas all the Red Dawns, the thing with the Red Dawn is it's today, it's now.
So you would see this movie Homefront if it was a movie.
Sure.
And be happy with the story than what you've seen in the Red Dawn remake, which the premise is still, they're almost identical. North Korea.
I mean, it is almost identical, but there's that one's now, and that's 2024.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it started now. It started in 2011.
Right, but that moment where all communication is destroyed and there is no social media, it sets us back. Then that's 12 years away.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
We can get in a lot of porn.
Yeah, right.
So that's good.
What?
There's a
Back it to
I forget which network is doing it. Is
backing it up?
There's some network that is launching a show. It's going to be a primetime.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. A primetime show about. And it's something. There's been a lot of people that wrote like sci-fi books about this, where like suddenly technology stops working.
Yeah.
And, and I don't think they give a reason
the revolution?
for it. Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Like suddenly technology stops working, and they don't really tell you why. It just sort of is. And
I think they're trying to figure it out in the in the show.
I think that's
as well.
I mean, but that's different than North Korea invades and somehow they magically made technology for you stop working, but it works for them. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, it's different.
But that meme, I guess you could say about how our government today is saying that we need to secure the interwebs because all it will take is a rogue country or a rogue terrorist to shut down the grid across the United States.
That's just fear-mongering.
Well, I know, but I'm saying that is what's going on now. And
that grid is in no way centralized. I mean, it's just a fucking patchwork of shit.
Yeah. You're not gonna. It's not like that's not gonna happen. And to say that it is.
Well, before the internet, the fear meme was they're going to poison our water, biochemical weapons in the water supply. They're going to get to the aqua.
But isn't that crazy? That's what scares people now. Loss of the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because anytime you hear
without that,
you can look up right now that we have the White House.
We'll have to deliver mail on ponies.
What the fuck? But I mean, right now you can look up press conferences where they're talking about if domestic or if terrorists
Well, I mean, it's always
took over the
something to
grid.
keep in mind. It's not like you shouldn't think about it, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's like a top. Yeah.
Well, apparently, if you listen to our government officials, it is.
I hope they're still worried about poisoning water more than they are the crippling of
but they're
online
saying
gaming.
Well, it's not just that we wouldn't have internet. They're saying that our
I mean, I know, like,
street lights
yeah.
and our
Well, because
infrastructure and our
everything is-
generators and everything that actually keeps the city functioning in terms of
But
electronics.
they make it sound like humans aren't involved in this. Like, there isn't some guy that can go on and flick on a switch to, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, with
there's still manual.
What was that
ways to do stuff?
That bug that our government sent to what Libya to mess up their uranium purification.
Yes.
What was the name of that bug?
I don't know, but there was one the other day that some I guess hackers sent to Iran that in their nuclear facilities that played AC/DC at the top volume of all of the computers in the middle of the night.
But it
wouldn't stop. It was really awesome.
But they did that, and they took the centrifuges and made them speed up until they broke. And it wasn't just hackers; it was our government who did that. It wasn't hackers.
Good for them.
Yeah, yeah, good for them.
I mean,
there's a bigger picture than just saying
there would be things that could be disastrous and all sorts of horrible things could happen because so many things are computer controlled, but the world would go on. I mean, it's not going to break.
No,
everything.
that is true, but
and that idea that you're going to wipe everything out with one fell swoop, that's just not going to happen. The whole thing.
There's going to be some 8-year-old that's going to know how to get it back up.
Well, it's like so fragmented and so distributed that you're not gonna. It's not gonna wipe everything out with just one. It's all gone. In fact, when the what were those Internet Privacy Protection Act, like PIPA and when those things were going on, there was a group of people who were like, you know what, fuck it, I can with for under $1,000 I can put a low Earth orbit satellite or a low Earth orbit satellite up in the air. I can buy the materials and the components to make a rocket that'll put a satellite component up into low Earth, or I can do it myself. You can find out that information on the internet, obviously, but at the library too.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? It's that place where they have books.
Dewey.
But that information is out there. If you wanted to today, would probably, there'd be a learning curve, but I bet you in 3 months' time, you could build a small rocket out of stuff you can get at the hardware store, and you can put
you don't
a
even need a
satellite
rocket
into low Earth orbit, and you can do the calculations yourself. You could do it yourself. And these guys were like, you know what? We'll make our own internet. We'll do it.
But yeah, that sounds all beautiful and glossy, but all it takes is a government that says, "Fuck you! You don't have the rights to do it. Shoot it down."
It's in orbit. They can't shoot it down.
They can knock it out.
No, they can't, and they can't because it's small. It doesn't need to be big. They'd never even know it was there.
And
that's the thing about it. Like it's small enough. It's in low Earth orbit. It's just fucking Sputnik was only yay big, and that scared the shit out of everybody. Now you can make that in a weekend.
We should do that.
I know.
We should make Sputnik.
I mean, I
we have a new project.
Somewhere, like Sputnik was the size of a baseball.
Yeah, I mean, softball, something like that.
Yeah, not big. And that
I thought it was a medicine ball.
That changed the world. Now you could do that at home yourself. And that's the point where these guys were like, you know what? If it gets that way, we'll just make our own internet. And it'll be the wild, wild west out there, just doing it yourself.
Why isn't that happening now? Why are we still just...
Because there's no necessity to. But if it came to that, people would.
I mean, it does come to that. We could have faster speeds. We could live in a world without caps. We could live in a... I mean, other countries are doing it now.
Oh, caps.
Caps.
I thought you said without cats. I mean, we could,
where would we get our broadcast?
Yeah, but cats are cool, man.
No, fuck cats.
I like dogs and all, but
right.
Cat's cool.
No, caps, C-A-P. But we don't.
We don't, because right now everybody's sort of, happy with the system as it is. But
who
if it
is
really
happy with the
they're
system?
not happy with it, but it's better than the alternative. Or
what's better than the alternative?
It isn't so bad that the mainstream hasn't gone away from it or found something else. And I promise you, if it gets that bad, it will happen. At least that's
better than the alternative. The alternative is faster speeds, better connection.
The alternative is, like I said, it's one of those things. You can do anything you want to, but just do you want to? Do you want to spend the time and the resources and the effort doing it when it's not really necessary that you do so?
Tell me outside of Google and tell me outside of our cable access that I'm going to get gigabit speeds on my internet.
I don't understand the question.
Well, you said if you want to do something, do it. We have the resources. I'm asking you.
Right.
Tell me how I'm going to get gigabit speeds.
It doesn't start with just you. It doesn't. It's not just you. It's you and the guy in Denmark and the guy in Australia.
Oh well, no.
And it builds. It snowballs. And so,
how many people do you know? If you asked if you could get faster connection, would you take it?
You're not asking them if they're just going to get faster connection. It's not as simple as, do you want faster speeds?
Well, no,
check yes or no.
No, you're saying...
Do you want to spend 6 months poring over library books and building a fucking rocket in your backyard so you can get faster internet speeds?
No, but you're saying all it takes is people from all over saying they want something to get together to make something happen, is what you're saying. That is what you said.
No, it's not that simple. One guy's going to do it first. And then another guy's going to do it, and then another guy's going to do it.
Tell me how that one guy is going to do it.
He's gonna spend the time and the effort to put his own little satellite into orbit.
I think we're talking about two completely different.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Paul?
I don't know. I have no problem with my internet speed. Or how much data I can store. I really don't give a shit. I mean... Sorry. I just...
Yeah, I think I don't understand the question.
Yeah, I'm kind of lost here. 1 minute we were talking about how to get around North Korea. And then all of a sudden we're upset about, like...
Nobody's upset.
Our 4G phone overages or something. I have no idea what happened.
I don't have 4G at all.
Wow, that's probably why you're upset.
No, because there are ways around it, according to Bob, and I've already got ways around it.
Yeah. Again, see, it's one of those things that I like. I don't need a fast connection for anything. I mean, I don't want dial-up, but I don't even know what the hell you guys are going on about it. It's just I'm so far removed from that I have no idea.
I was just thinking of that absurd what-if possibility if North Korea invents a magic satellite that wipes out telecommunication in the U.S., that it's possible to build it again on your own just with people in their backyards building rockets.
Totally doable. I was never arguing against it. I've been on his side the whole time.
And then you turn it into like some kind of like the man's keeping us down thing.
I didn't.
Well, no, you didn't, but he did. You do that all the time.
I do not do that. I didn't even do that. I did not do it.
You did.
No, I just asked.
This is what they're not telling you.
No, all I did is ask him to expand on what he was saying. He said if people from Australia and from wherever said they wanted this and this
not
and
Australia,
this,
they're thieves.
Yeah, but he said if all these people wanted this stuff and they got together, they could make it happen. And I asked him, okay, tell me how this one person getting with other people will make
Well,
gigabit.
it's all hypothetical. I don't know if you can really
no,
say
it's not
how
hypothetical. That is the true argument. That is the true argument that is happening right now.
You're going to say, how's it going to happen? Well, it hasn't happened. So
it is happening. It is happening right now.
You could buy a ham radio, right?
What? Wait. What is it that's happening right now?
That people are getting together trying to get faster internet. I mean, other countries.
Well, then you're proving his point.
No, and I'm asking him how that happens because he's saying, because one minute he's telling me all these people come together, and I'm saying, well, that you and me, him can do and get this, but we at the moment in our system, in the way the net is set up, we cannot build anything that will give us faster internet.
Sure, we can.
How? And that's what I'm asking.
Well, yeah, here's how. You and I spend 6 months to a year and about $1,000 to $1,500, and we make a model rocket, and we'll probably blow 3 of them up before we get one up into high enough orbit, and we put a little transmitter, and you and I, with books we found at the library and materials we bought at the hardware store, can build a rocket and put a transmitter into geosynchronous orbit. We could do it.
Okay, so we can build a satellite, but how does that
now
improve?
Your computer is talking to my computer via that satellite with nobody else in charge of it. It's our satellite.
That just creates a network.
What do you think the internet is?
But I'm asking how are we going to...
So now your computer is talking to my computer, and it's at blazing fast speeds because it's our satellite. We're the only ones using it. It's our satellite. And then turns out somebody else is unhappy with their internet speeds, and we can go like, hey, man, you know what? We got this satellite up there, and you can do that too. And then 6 months down the road, we find out there's another nut job in Denmark who had the same crazy idea. And we go, hey, man, we can link your satellite up to our satellite, and now our computers are talking together. And now we found out there's another guy in Australia who did the same thing. And so now your computer, my computer, his computer, and the guy in Australia, all our computers are talking together over this network. That's the internet. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Boom.
There is no boom on that.
And it all starts with one dude going, hey, it'd be fucking cool. We built a rocket and put a fucking satellite in geosynchronous orbit ourselves just so we could.
But who's going to run the wires?
What?
Who's going to run the wires?
Yeah. It's communication. It's telecommunication.
We'll be back to dial-up. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, moving on. Are y'all interested in House at the End of the Street, which comes out September 21st?
Not really.
Why?
I don't know. I've just seen the trailers. It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, it really looks...
It looks like the same old shit, but nothing spectacular.
I agree. What about you, Bob?
Only because it has Jennifer Lawrence in it.
You would go see it just for that?
Yeah. I like her a lot. She's so good. She was great in Winter's Bone, and I loved her in The Hunger Games, and I think she's a rising star.
That's it?
That's all I got.
All right. So, I watched the 2002, I think it was, remake of Carrie. I think it was 2002. The other night.
They remade that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was horrible. It was like an after-school special.
Wasn't it, who was in it? Rose McGowan?
No.
Who's Carrie?
I don't remember. It was like a made-for-TV movie smashed into an after-school special, and it was horrible. And I was like,
ladies pinch, whores use rouge.
It was really bad. Well, March 15th, 2013 comes another remake of Carrie.
You know,
and the poster, behind the scene photos.
It's got like one of Will Smith's kids in it or something.
Yeah. The photos that they've released about it, where she's covered in blood and stuff, it looks boring. It looks. I don't even know why
I never liked the original movie.
Oh, you didn't like Carrie?
No, not really. I know a lot of people love it. I mean, the mom's creepy and all that, but I just never. I mean, I haven't read the book, so I can't talk about that. But the movie, I've just never been a fan of. So what
was it about the movie that you didn't like? Do you not like the supernatural aspect, or you just thought the whole overall movie?
I live for supernatural movies.
No, I know. That's what I'm trying to.
I just didn't like the movie.
You just thought it was kind of dull.
I kind of thought it was really boring.
Yeah.
the girl in the 2002 movie was Angela Bettis, and if it seems like it was made for TV, it's because it was, and it was made to be a pilot for a possible ongoing TV show.
It was horrible.
But it was never picked up, so it was just a
and I
pilot.
know why, because that movie, after I finished watching it, I watched it on Netflix, so if you want to see it, it is on there. After I watched it, Miley's like, I cannot believe you sat through that whole thing, because she's seen it before, and it was really bad. And I'm on Letterboxd, which is a website that you can catalog all your movies you watch, rate them, and it's kind of a social network that just focuses on movies.
Yeah,
And
Josh sent me that thing.
Huh?
Josh sent me one of those.
Yeah, you got an invite?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
I didn't join.
You need to join. It's actually because you can sync it up to your net.
I gotta go to on enough fucking websites to do. It's becoming work now. Like, social media is a pain in the ass. Like, oh fuck! Somebody wants to be my friend on LinkedIn.
I delete all that stuff.
I just Google Plus. Oh, it's just I still got an old MySpace page. Oh, I got 2 of them. Oh, I've got.
Well, if you're on Link or Letterboxd, you can find me. If you're on Goodreads, you can find me. Because I like both of those sites. I like both of those sites better than Facebook.
I generally don't like social media sites at all.
Well, I like these because they're not like the typical social media. They focus on, like, Letterboxd focuses on nothing other than movies. You can't do anything other than
that's cool,
star movies, review movies, and recommend movies to other people, and people can recommend them to
then
you.
I gotta log into my YouTube page.
Yeah.
It's like it just never ends. Do you want to be friends with him on YouTube? I don't know how many. It's just crazy.
But I don't know.
I think
Carrie got a very low review.
I would imagine.
But the upcoming film, it has potential because of the girl that plays Carrie.
But her mom is also very famous and very good actress.
In the new movie?
And the new remake.
Oh,
but
who's
it
that?
looks boring. It looks.
Well, then it's true to the original.
You thought it was?
Oh, it's Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, the girl that plays Carrie is Chloe Grace Moretz. She was the girl that was in Hugo and Let Me In.
Oh,
and more
yeah,
importantly, she was Hit Girl.
She's very good. Yeah.
She's a fantastic actress.
Have you seen the screenshots that they've released from it?
Yeah, yeah.
It looks boring.
It's a screenshot.
Okay, you telling me that the screenshots from the Avengers, when they showed them the release of screenshot, you were not excited about those screenshots?
I was excited just because it meant the movie was coming together.
But it looked exciting because there were action.
I don't know, man. You can't tell anything from one picture.
I don't know. I think it looks boring. I think
you can tell about 1,000 words. Actually.
About 1,000 words, right? Yeah. Turns out.
But
I'll give it a chance because I think that Chloe Moretz brings some chops.
Did you see who's directing it?
It is
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, it's gonna be Peter Berg. Kimberly Pierce.
And she's done
Probably nothing.
Some other stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Thanks,
directed
Paul.
Boys Don't Cry, and she directed Stop Loss. Those were great.
Wow. This is building.
And yeah, she directed Boys Don't Cry, and then she did nothing for years, and then she did Stop Loss, which was excellent, and then she's done nothing else since. So then it's Carrie. So she's one of those directors that they pick their projects.
So you have higher hopes.
Yeah,
for it.
that says good things about the movie.
Yeah. I'm until I see more, I'm still saying it looks boring.
That's fine. Wait to reserve judgment.
No. This show is not.
No, I'm judging now.
This show is not about waiting to.
We don't wait for it.
We will judge now, and put it on the record, and then change our minds if it's good.
I never said that.
I don't think we've ever denied any bad choice or decision or statement we've made on this show.
I don't know.
No, I don't think we care enough.
No, that's the thing. So,
I don't think anybody's listening enough to call us out on anything.
I don't know. We've been called out.
Can't
on
believe
things.
you guys. I got called a fat nerd on the other show.
Really? Wow.
I did.
It's awesome, and that's what
Kind
that
of chapped my ass too. I was like, God damn it. really, I'm trying to be like intellectually honest and like actually like talk about something. The guy calls me a fat nerd.
Yeah. I mean,
No, he's ugly nerd. I'm sorry, ugly
Yeah.
nerd.
Damn, that's pretty harsh.
We get a lot of interactions on our shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it. And I know I shouldn't let it bother me because I was like, oh my god.
We should have never brought this up because Bob's not gonna let it go.
I know.
Because even on the episode, it went
Get off the bridge, Bob.
Yeah. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it was that bad. Kidding, Bob.
Agitates me to some degree, I have to admit.
So we had to warn our listeners not to name call for Bob.
Yeah.
Take it personally. You know how hard I work.
Douchebags.
So, July 18th, 2014 is the final film date for the Hobbit Trilogy.
Did you see what the titles are going to be?
I saw one of the titles.
So the first movie is The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. The second movie is going to be The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. And then the third movie would be The Hobbit, There and Back Again. How fucking cool is that?
I'm surprised they stretched it into 3.
Well, that was what but it makes sense though because what they're going to do.
I liked the Lord of the Rings book, but even when I was a kid and I read The Hobbit, I kind of thought it was weak. It was like, and then this happened. Oh, that's done. But now there's this, and I don't know. It was just kind of like.
Well, all right. Admittedly, The Hobbit was the first book that Tolkien wrote, and he wrote it ostensibly for a young audience, right? He was sort of looking to young kids, and then he wrote it and he put it down, and then he came back to it years later, and took that story and like did some edits to it to make the rest of the story possible, and he wrote The Lord of the Rings, and. What Peter Jackson wants to do is he wants to stretch it into 3 movies, but he's not just going to do The Hobbit. It's going to dip into the Silmarillion, which was yet another Tolkien book about the formation of the world of creation in Middle Earth and the prehistory of Middle Earth. And it's really good. The Silmarillion is one of the best books I've ever read. And it's also going to be sort of Gandalf-centric in that there's this point in The Hobbit where they never really go into it, but Gandalf has to leave and he has to go fight this guy called the Necromancer. And it turns out that the Necromancer is actually an early incarnation of Sauron who's come back to the world now. And he's like relatively weak at that point. And so the 3 Hobbit movies are going to have, those elements of the Silmarillion and the Necromancer to like flesh it out and make it into a 3rd film.
I'm excited about it. Yeah.
I know.
That sounds way better.
Like,
I'm excited about it, but I'm very upset at what they're going to do on the release of the first Hobbit.
What is that?
He's shooting it in higher frame rate. The studios have decided to only release the higher frame rates in selected theaters and release a lower frame rate, the traditional frame rate, in all the other theaters. Which means if you're not in an area where they have, if you're not in one of the big cities, you're not going to see the way he shot it, the way he's seen it. They've mentioned that if the higher frame rate gets great reviews, they're going to re-release The Hobbit to all the theaters in a higher frame rate. But the funny thing is when you read all the reviews online, nobody's going to know which film unless they're really deep into it. They're not going to know. So everybody's going to be like, The Hobbit was great, and they're not going to know what frame rate they saw it. And it makes me sad because Norfolk is not known to get limited releases.
Yeah.
So we will not, if tradition holds true, we will not get to see this film the way we should be able to see it. And I hate that they decide for us because the studios are afraid that we may not like it. Fuck that. Let us decide what we like and don't like.
Well, they're not going to be.
I don't know. I think it makes sense because not every place. I mean, theaters are cheap. People aren't going to run out to buy all this new shit. I know, yes, they did it once for Lucas and all this shit, but nobody's looking to spend any money.
But they don't have to. Every modern theater, every AMC, every Regal right now have the projectors in their theater now because they got them when they did Avatar. That will help. I mean, right now, you can go to the MacArthur, you can go to any theater, any Regal, any AMC, and they have the 4K projectors, which will do. There's nothing more that they have to buy. Well, they don't have to buy any additional. The studios made the decision because of that stupid screener that they did in green screen that they showed at a comic book convention that people were like, "Oh, it's like watching a soap opera," and so the studios freaked the fuck out and said,
"I've seen some stuff. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's that, but I've seen like a couple new TVs, and we were somewhere watching." I don't know, they had like the Black Pearl or one of those movies playing where the Kragan was attached in it, and it was incredibly high definition, and I fucking hated it.
Well,
I hated it.
Unless you saw the,
I don't know what I saw.
Well, I'm just saying, unless you saw the new 58-inch LG, and I forget what the other company is.
No, it was a small.
Then you're seeing a fake. They have TVs out there on the market now that are kind of doing it.
It's almost like a Photoshop filter.
Yeah, it's pretty much what it is. What it does is it's not true frame rate. What it does is a chip that upgrades it, kind of doing an SD to HD. So it's not true. And there's so many bad reviews about those. LG with their new 58-inch and I forget the other companies have come out with true higher, TVs that can handle the higher frame rate. But there's no reason for the theaters to pass on this. The studios are afraid that they're not going to make money because of it, and I understand they're trying to protect their investment, but it sucks that they limit it to people who let us make up our mind. Don't make up our mind for us. Peter Jackson has faith in this. Let us see the way he is.
They're not looking to push anything. They just want to make profit.
Yeah, but Peter Jackson chose this frame rate because for whatever reason him and James Cameron came up with that this is going to be better. It's going to be better 3D. It's going to be better frame rate. It's going to show more action. You're not going to have the blur on the action scenes that we do now. You're going to have clarity the whole way. Let's see it. Let us truly judge it. Don't keep it away from us. Because
I do like 24 frames a second, though. It kind of has a dreamy,
yeah.
Especially older, when you watch films from like the 70s or 80s, and you're like, man, look at that fuzz around everything.
Yeah. I need to get my cataract.
No, sometimes it works. I'm like, oh, this is how film should be,
Well, that's where the
classics in the genre, like The Princess Bride, stuff like that.
But that's where the collectors come in. That's when collecting becomes meaningful. Is when you have something like that, when new technology comes out. You want that nostalgic, and that's why people collect things. But don't hold back technology just because.
Oh, trust me, we could be playing better than CD quality music.
True.
We're playing MP3s.
Yeah. I've heard your argument on that.
I know. It's the same argument.
It is truly the same argument. But it's just silly. Any last thoughts on The Hobbit?
It makes me sad. No, The Hobbit makes me happy.
Hobbit makes me happy. The studios make me upset.
We're going to build a fucking satellite.
It's going to take us 6 months to a year.
Yeah. But the payoff is going to be substantial.
Yeah.
We'll be able to listen to like 24-bit or 48-bit 96K music.
And we're going to transfer them at blinding internet speeds between our computers.
Yeah. And 3D in the highest definition.
As the director intended.
Yes.
I love how y'all brought that around. Thank you. Y'all make me very happy.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go back to nerd comic books. The Wolverine, which is going to be released July 13th, 2013. I know Bob is more in touch with the comic book and the storyline of the Wolverine, but in short, this is where Wolverine goes to Japan. This is taking that fork of the story. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about that, Bob?
Yeah, it's a real famous 4 or 6 issue miniseries that was, I think, at one point in the early '80s, like Marvel must have decided that Wolverine needed to be a ninja too. So he goes to Japan.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's this arc where he goes to Japan and he marries this girl who's like also a ninja and like granddaughter of some samurai, and it's really heavily influenced with like Japanese culture.
Samurai or another ninja, because they're opposite sides.
I know, but no, it's they all work together in the Marvel universe. And
I cannot accept that.
Yeah. But it is one of like really great Wolverine stories from,
I'm just saying,
from the
samurais
80s.
work for the Shogun.
Yeah. I've watched 13 Assassins last week.
I haven't watched that yet. I'm sorry, Mom.
No, it's okay.
No, go ahead. We'll finish. We'll talk about 13 Assassins in a minute.
No, I don't know. I mean, if the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie, it was god awful. I mean, Hugh Jackman delivered the goods. I mean, he did the best he could, but it sort of like revamped Marvel canon, and it took one of the best Marvel characters to come along in a decade, which was Deadpool, who's famous for like quipping and one-liners and just running his mouth, and they made him silent. Why would you do that? You know, and then
they should have put him in Battleship.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know. It was just the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie sort of rewrote the material that and took it in a poor direction. And if the Wolverine movie respects the source material and just does that, then that would be fine. That'd be great. It'd be a great movie. But we'll see. I don't know.
Do you know who's directing it?
Peter Berg. Or no, James Mangold. Peter
Are you
Berg
happy
did
with that?
Battleship. What did Mangold do? Walk the Line.
Good movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
So, I saw 13 Assassins while he's looking that up. It's actually a damn good movie.
No, I heard it was really good. It's been in my queue for a while.
You should watch it. I watched it the other night, and I was just
never watched the Shogun Assassin movies.
I have a bunch of Shogun Assassin 3D movies.
I only have like the first 6 of Lone Wolf and Cub that they're based off of, but you'll know about them because you're
Lone Wolf and Cub is a comic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, those are good.
The most Japanese thing you can probably ever read in your life.
Yeah.
There are scenes in it that are so the main guy is called like the Kokusan, something like that. He's the guy that when you have to do seppuku and slice open your stomach and your innards in front of the Shogun, he's the only other guy that can wear the crest of the Shogun. And they do like the mercy kill. So he comes and lobs your head off, and then he's framed, and all this stuff happens, and he decides to become an assassin. But people kind of know who he is, and he's walking this thing called like Mufido or something, which is like the Devil's Road. And holy shit, I turned into Bob. So I know all this backstory about a comic. So and all of a sudden I'm like, throw it in. Little things. So
now you know how it feels.
Yeah, it's lonely. I'm just being a dick. So
you left out desperate.
Yeah. So anyway, and he's doing it with his kid and everything.
He's doing it with his kid.
Yeah, and he like uses his little toddler, maybe younger than that, infant in like all these assassination plots. But some of the things are just so awesome. Like he's fighting this other famous swordsman, and at the end he makes this cut, and the guy's neck is cut open, and of course, while the guy is like falling to the ground, he says like this giant thought bubble of stuff. The whistling sound of like wind going through the reeds, but it's really the wind going through my own windpipe. That's the blah 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 cut, the perfect cut. All my life I've always wanted to make a cut this perfect, and yet how ironic that it's on my very own throat for my death. And then he falls down. It's just like, that's so awesome. There's like blood everywhere.
Yeah.
And another one, like this guy gives him the orders for this job, but then he's old and he's feeble and dishonored. So the guy he kills him, and then later he meets his people, and they're like, "Where's our master?" And he was like, "I had the honor of helping him meet his end." And they're all like silent, they stare down. How was it? It was magnificent. And they all, like, it's just awesome. And there are death poems written in it all over the place, and it's a fantastic series.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Your follow-up to the Wolverine, what information you found?
I'm hopeful. Did you know that that Tom Hanks movie, Road to Perdition, was based on?
I haven't watched it, but yes,
it's not very good because
really?
because they took all those things that were like great in Japanese about the
and kind of
like got rid of it.
Yeah,
and not even watered it down.
Just got rid of it.
That sucks. Have you seen that? There's two new Tom Cruise things. There's the electric.
It's Tom Hanks.
Sorry, thank you.
He's fantasizing.
Yeah. Well, on this couch, one can't help but to think about. There's like, what is it, like Electric Land or Electric Dance?
Oh, that's the Tom Hanks animated thing.
But there's also a movie trailer I saw him in that's really bizarre looking. Like he plays.
You know who directs that?
Who?
The Wachowskis.
Really?
Yeah, and
they're
not the Wachowski brothers anymore. They're the Wachowski brother and sister now.
Ah.
And
the movie or the animated thing?
The movie film. The one
okay.
you're talking about. It's Tom. I forget what it's called. It's directed by the Wachowskis, and it has.
It's almost like The Fountain, but
and they're playing. It's like from what I can gather, because there's a lengthy trailer on the internet.
It's way long.
It's like several stories that are somehow they span time and space because they're all in like different parts of the world, different time periods, past, present, future, and I know Tom Hanks is in it, and there's a couple other people, but then in each little story they play different roles. Like they're in all the stories, but they're like different versions of themselves,
right.
And like sometimes they're old, sometimes they're young, sometimes they're men, sometimes they're women, sometimes they're warriors, sometimes they're priests or something. So it's all over the map, and it's supposed to tell like through all these different little stories. It's supposed to tell like one larger cohesive story. But that's the part that everybody sort of ignored that, and they were like, "Oh my God, that dude is now a chick with purple dreadlocks."
Right.
They introduce it and talk about it a little bit.
Looks good.
Yeah, she's like Tila Wachowski now or something like that. Awesome, good for her.
Cool. Well, I think it's that time to wrap up the show.
Is it that time already?
It is that time already. I want to thank everybody for listening, and even though we may seem like we are fighting, we actually love each other. So.
Fuck you guys.
He hates me so much.
You have no idea.
I cry every night.
Bob and I aren't going to be allowed in here again until mid-October.
I know.
Not unless I show up with my own rocket ready to put satellites into orbit.
You better have that satellite ready.
I kind of wanted to do that, just so you could. That's the beauty of it.
You're not on my show until you increase my speed.
We need more bandwidth. We need... And if you can't deliver... No, but yeah, it was...
Nerd.
Yeah.
No, it was actually good to be back together again. It's been...
Good times.
Almost 2 months that we've done the show.
Yeah, it's been a while. Too long.
It's been way too long. And sadly...
I look forward every other week to being yelled at by Jason.
You don't get enough of it from this non-religious life?
No, and it's like I gotta get yelled at, and then I have to get like the mean texts. He sends those to me.
Yes, it's that bad. I'm such an asshole.
I can't believe your piece popped that much. I was editing it.
It's all right.
I never know when he's joking either.
I'm never joking.
Yeah, I don't joke.
Have you listened to this show? His humor is atrocious.
What's that? What'd you say? Nothing.
We're all friends here.
I am kidding, of course.
Not really. Shh, help me.
Help me, call 911.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, but thank you for hanging out with us on this episode. We will take a pause. Zombie Popcorn will still be alive. We'll still I have a bunch of contests lining up. We have a contest right now for this DVD Blu-ray 3D, the collection.
You got a coalesce coming up and a.
I have a coalesce coming up.
I think we're gonna get one more non-religious life in before.
We're getting 2 more non-religious lives in. We're getting 1 more coalesce. Actually, probably 2 more because Matt was sick the last time we were supposed to record, so we postponed it, and we're just gonna pick that up and probably pick up another one on that. I'm going to church with him on Friday to try to gather stuff, and it's not really a church. We're going to go. It's a meeting for human trafficking, so we're going to talk about that. But all of this will be on zombiepopcorn.com. I have several contests lined up right now. We have one on the site right now for you to go enter. Advanced screening tickets are coming very soon. I have several lined up for that, so keep your eye on that. Join the newsletter. Hang out with or find us on Facebook, on Google Plus, everywhere else. And if you're on Letterboxd or Goodreads, I'm there under my name. So find me there if you want to hang out there and exchange movies and books. That'd be awesome. You can always email us, always call us. All that information is on the contact section on zombiepopcorn.com. Thanks for listening to The Talking Dead, and don't forget to go to audibletrial.com/TTD.